that I have myself together a little bit better, I wanted to share a few stories of my father's strength.
Mm.
And this is one that my godmother, Sister Bernice here, she doesn't know about, but she was a big part of it. And first, I also want to thank everyone here because I'm looking at every single person here. I kid you not, from my mother's passing, everyone has played a part in raising us. And so just seeing here, burying my father, I feel like this is just as important to everyone here because all of you played a part in raising us. So it wasn't just my father who did that. Our apostolic family, our
Yeah.
natural family, our friends,
Yeah.
everyone who took part in that, I want to thank you for that. Um, just thinking about what my brother said on how strong my father was. My godmother bought me my first cell phone, and at the time she bought it, you didn't get a whole lot of minutes. You had to pay for every single minute you had. And after the first month of having my cell phone, she took it because I wasn't responsible with it because I ran the bill up
Whew.
$500. But what she did not know is the reason why the bill went up $500 is because I was using my phone one day, walking to the corner store in South Philly, and one of the neighborhood drug dealers asked me if he could use my phone. From the moment he saw me, I already knew what was going to happen.
Mm.
So it was either I could give him the phone and let him use it, or either he could take it from me. So I decided to let him use the cell phone because I was a little kid at the time. And so I sat around and I waited for him to get done using it. I waited for him to get done using it. He kept using the phone, kept using the phone. And I kept saying it was all right. And I was hoping that some of my friends would come up so we can get the phone back. Of course, this day, nobody shows up. So now, about 3 or 4 hours later, we're inside the Chinese store at 22nd and Carpenter. And another neighborhood drug dealer walks in. And 40 minutes later, he says, "Young boy, what you still doing here?" And I said, "I'm waiting on my phone. Musk has my phone." And he said, "All right, he'll bring it back." And then I heard them talking, and they was like, "Yeah, young boy ain't getting his phone back." And I was still waiting, and I just felt somehow I knew that my phone was going to come back to me. So then another one came in, and this guy's name is Skin. This guy, he comes into the Chinese store and says, "Young boy, you still waiting here for your phone?" And they said, "Yeah." And they started laughing. And then one of them said, "Wait, ain't you Miriam's brother?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Yo, call him back, get his phone now, his pop crazy." And they called my
Right
phone right
now.
back to me. And I just thought, like, I don't know where they got that respect from because my dad was always an old man that wore glasses and wore suits. But clearly they saw something different than I did as a little kid, and they knew, who my father was. And then
Amen.
just thinking about the first time a few years ago when we was on our way to Atlanta, my dad didn't make it because that's when he started having kidney problems. And I always knew I was a strong person. People have always told me I was a strong person. I always credited that to my family, but I did not know how connected I was to my father. When in that time of us supposed to be going to Atlanta, my dad didn't make it. When he was supposed to go to the hospital, he did everything under the sun to fight my sisters to keep from going to the hospital. And then when they finally got him in the car, he kept fighting my sister Karina, kept fighting her, and kept fighting her to go to the hospital. And then finally he yelled, started snapping, and I never heard a story of him being that way before. And then I found out that he was actually afraid of something. And when I tell you, like, that affected me so much because I'm not afraid of anything, respectfully so. I'm afraid of God and I understand things, but I'm not afraid of anything. But when I found out that my father was afraid of something, immediately I just thought,
Mm.
well, what the heck am I
Yeah.
afraid of? And
Right.
that has to be something I'm afraid of, and I'm not as strong as I thought I was. And all these things started popping in the head, and it wasn't a bad thing. It just really showed me how connected to my father's strength that I was without him ever seeing it, that it was already there embedded in me. And, I just want to thank the Lord for that. And then having a conversation with the man of God, him saying how strong my father was. Last year when we went to Atlanta, Saturday about 6 p.m., my father's face was swollen as if he was underwater for hours, so I had to take him to the hospital. Now, usually after we leave Atlanta, I hit the road right away and come back up on 95 right after service. And I knew that I was hitting the road right after service last year in Atlanta. And so Saturday, I took my father to the hospital, and he literally fought the doctors for 3 hours not to go on dialysis and not to get any medicine because he said, if y'all give me this medicine, I won't be able to pay the organ tomorrow, and I need to pay the organ. And the
Hmm.
doctor came in and said, this is the chart, and said, when people come in there sick, they're here. Usually when people pass away, they're here. Somehow you're right here and you're still alive. So if you don't take the medicine, you won't be allowed to play the organ tomorrow. And because they told him he won't be able to play the organ if he didn't do it, that was the only reason he took the medicine. Now we went to the hospital 6 p.m. in the afternoon. We didn't leave the hospital till 5 in the morning. And I'm thinking, how the heck am I supposed to make it up for church? We just getting leaving the hospital 5 in the morning, and I'm supposed to be driving back to Philadelphia. And then I called my father. He was already up, and he was the one who was sick. Left the hospital 5 in the morning with me, and he was strong enough to get dressed, put his suit on, and go downstairs to play the organ. And I said, if he can do it, then I can do it too. So I'm just truly thankful for the strength that my father had, the same as what my brother said, because I know that transpired through all of us being here. Thank you.
Amen. That is awesome.
So at this time,